guys, how's it going? Welcome back. So this is the iPad Air 4th generation review. So, in the end result, let's do this a little backwards. 4 1/4 out of 5 is where I'm going to put this. Well, it's not perfect, but it does have some downsides to it. Okay? And I would like to go over the downsides first. So, I run a program called OnSong Pro. It's a lyric scrolling program for my music. I play in church, plus we do outdoor gigs here and there. Well, not during the pandemic, obviously, but usually without this problem in the world, we do some outdoor gigs. And it is nice to be able to have the iPad. And it works fantastic all by itself, even this one. Now, I've been using my 7th gen. Previous to that, I've had some iPad Air, iPad Air 2, that sort of stuff. I've had other iPads. But we don't get any cords up here, but also is the big thing of when we're starting off the program itself. Come on. Oh, the one thing I hate is finding that sweet spot there. Anyways, so we get awesome God key of C. We should be seeing lyrics. We should also see chords, but we don't. Okay, so if I click on a title, ooh, look, I get some words. This is a bit of a downside and a bummer. Okay, this is not OnSong's problem. This is actually the device. Now, both my tablets are running 14.4, so if one screws up, the other one should, right? Well, let's investigate that theory. So we're going to hook up. Now, I want the external screen because I want to do editing of my OnSong stuff. That's a very important thing to be able to do that, and I like to do it on a bigger screen. So we go into this one here. This is my 7th gen. Give that a minute to kick in, and away we go. Alright, so let's fire up OnSong on this one. And look, perfect. Okay, so let's go to Your Grace is Enough. And we can start scrolling that, and voila. Works exactly the way it should. So this is not an iOS issue. It's not an issue between the iOS or OnSong. This is an actual hardware issue with the iPad Air 4th gen, where for some reason it cannot output this properly. Yet, if you go to a program like Guitar Tap, now Guitar Tap, by the way, no longer does scrolling features. A lot of people have figured that out by now. But then we can get Guitar Tap up, we can go search, we can search for something or go to our favorites, because I do have a song here, and that shows up as normal. Now, on the Air, let's switch back over here to the Air. Go to the Air here, and we go to the Guitar Tap program, favorites. Okay, I don't have it in there, so song. Same artist, version 1. It shows up. But, of course, scrolling feature does not work. But it shows up. But it's not OnSong that's the issue, but it's something that OnSong and the hardware in this thing are not getting along with. I don't know. It's just a weird one, but yet they're both running the same iOS, so there shouldn't be an issue. So somebody has to do a fix somewhere to get that problem resolved either way, because I ain't happy about that. Now, I got this particular tablet for a specific purpose in mind, and one of those purposes are I want to have this iPad 7th gen primarily sitting at my drum kit, because I've already got the hookup gear already to go into it without having to buy new equipment, whereas this thing I don't. So I wanted to use this as my portable device, my editing device, and it's a lot faster. It has more RAM, it has more video capability, it's got faster Wi-Fi, it has faster cellular. So I want this to be my basic replacement for this thing in everything. Okay, now for portability use though, yeah, OnSong is going to work fantastic on the iPad itself all alone. It's just it has the issue here with the external screen going. That's where my problem is. That's kind of really cheesed me off here. But you know what? Somebody has to come up with a fix. Now, other than that problem, I have no issues with this iPad Pro. It is fantastic. It is fast. It's cool. You know, I love the little bit of extra screen real estate that I get over top of the 7th gen. It's only a little bit extra, but it's, hey, it's extra. I'm also going to complain about the fingerprint scanner. The top button here, because we don't have a home button or a haptic sensor button, we have this, and this is our fingerprint scanner up top, but it also has to work in conjunction. To shut this sucker down, you can't just push and hold or you activate Siri, so you have to push on the volume up and this at the exact same time, and then you can actually turn it off. That's one way. The other way is to go through System, Settings, and then you can just select Shutdown. Now, of course, Apple doesn't tell you how to shut down your brand new iPad Air 4th Gen. Oh, God forbid that would happen. They didn't even do it on the iPhone 12s. Everybody else has to come up with those solutions. So it's kind of really, you know, they should have some basic instructions when they change enough stuff, which is another ding, okay, in that mix. You know, so, I mean, I have those issues. As far as video processing goes, yes, this thing does have a 4K camera in the back. It's 8 megapixel, or sorry, 1080p in the front. So it's 7 megapixel front, I believe the specs were, and 12 in the back. Either way, 4K back, 1080p front. That's a very vast improvement from going from the 7th gen, okay? And even coming off of an iPad Air 2 or an iPad Air regular. That's a huge upgrade in our camera and stuff, right? The picture on screen, of course, we're losing a lot of our real estate. This is just a 1080p IPS panel. We should still, even though this is a higher res, we should be able to have it upscale at least to a fuller screen. Some things will, like if you take a video. So let's take a quick video here with the camera. And we're going to do this in 4K, 30 frames per second. So in case you want to see what's going on, that's in 4K, 30 frames per second. We're going to hit record. And you're going to see the camera in the picture. Hello, goodbye. Now, viewing everything on screen as I'm cutting this in 4K, this thing looks absolutely great. You know, even on a steady hold shot, very nice and clear. I love that. It's just fantastic. We're all happy. Looks outstanding. Okay, stop. So, let's hook this back up and let's view what we did. Anytime now. Sync up. Come on. Let's go. Party on. Rock and roll. Alright. So let's play that back. Turn the audio on. Then you're going to see the camera in the picture. Hello, goodbye. Now, viewing everything on screen as I'm cutting this in 4K, this thing looks absolutely great. You know, even on a steady hold shot, very nice and clear. I love that. It's just fantastic. We're all happy. Looks outstanding. Alright, so I found that by playing it back on the LG display, I saw that it was very greenish. The colors are kind of off a little bit. I mean, come on, this screen is normally used on a PC, not on a Mac, right? Or an Apple product. But even the Apple product should produce a better picture, and it's kind of, it's not bad, but it doesn't look very good for 4K on a 1080p screen. Okay, so let's come off of that. Now let's review that thing here. And you're going to see the camera in the picture. Now viewing it back on here, on the screen here, is actually quite nice.
Now, viewing everything on screen
That's a huge difference.
This thing looks absolutely great. You know, even on a steady hold shot, very nice and.
Now I will say this too. Every camera is light dependent. Even 4K can look grainy if you don't have enough light, but it really shows it there. Okay, we're here, it's not really showing it that much. You know, but it still looks really fantastic viewing it back here on screen on the iPad as opposed to viewing it on the external screen. We could get a much better picture with enough appropriate light. So the next test I'm going to actually do, I'm going to go off camera, I'm going to go outside the house, and I'm actually going to shoot an outdoor video because it's nice outside right now, and we're going to see what our viewing difference is. So this will be instant for you guys, okay? Alright guys, and we are back. So this is a rear camera view, so this is the 4K camera outdoors. So we're going to play it. Okay guys, so we are outdoors doing a 4K video. Now we got a really nice screen size on this. Here. It's not full screen, but
I live out in the country.
It's pretty good.
So we'll just give it a little scan around here.
It's a nice sunny day outside. Ample lighting for the camera. Which also again proves cameras are very light dependent. Okay, so I have another video here. So now we're outdoors.
Now this is the front camera.
Selfie camera. Yes, I know I need to comb my hair. Who cares? But this is what we can expect out of the front camera. Out in a nice, bright, sunny day. It's kind of really nice out here. Pretty cool, eh? Loving it. Alright, so let's go back inside. Now, overall, that is actually a really good picture. Nice and full on the screen. I mean, we still have some border, obviously. We're not getting full out. But the playback is actually pretty decent. It's really good. Very clean picture. But, I mean, you can still tell a huge night and day difference. So, if I play this back for you on the actual screen up close here. So now we're outdoors, and this is my selfie camera. Yes, I know I need to comb my hair. Who cares? But this is what we can expect out of the front camera. Okay. A nice, bright, sunny. So let's go to the other one. Okay, guys, so we are outdoors. This is the 4K. 4K video. It's actually pretty nice and sunny out here. I live out in the country, which is awesome. So we'll just give it a little scan around here. Alright. So if you want to do any kind of video editing to an external display, you're going to need a lot better than a 1080p resolution display. You're going to need something that can do at least 2 to 4K on its output, which means you're going to be spending a few bucks. Now I do have an LG 31.5-inch display that my Mac can actually push it to 4K full out, whereas my PC with twice as much video power can only push the thing to like a 2K level. Alright, but it would be a far better improvement over this, but that is still actually, you know, very clean and clear. But for critical coloration and stuff, honestly guys, if you're going to video edit on your iPad and you're just going to go with an external display, okay, you're not going to move the video to a 5K Mac, for example, okay, then you're going to be spending about $1,800 minimum on a 5K LG display. Now that's not a 5K Retina display. This is 5K Retina, which is a far better display than standard 5K, but it's going to give you at least a lot better for your video editing by going 5K. But that's a lot of money to put out, which is why, you know, one of my arguments about trying to use one of these things as a replacement for a home computer system or a video editing station, that sort of thing. Yes, these are getting powerful. Even The new M1 Macs that are out are very powerful, very nice displays as always that we get on desktops and laptops out of Apple. Except of course with the Mac Pro Tower you got to buy your own display because that's a separate purchase, and ching baby. But those computers are for the very serious people. But if you want to do even good quality stuff for your editing and you're using an iPad only, you're going to need a really high-end display that's going to cost you a lot of money just to get something close enough to what you actually have on the screen here. You know, so, and you're not even viewing this back in actual real 4K view, because this is not a 4K viewable display. Okay, it's about half that roughly. Okay, so that's another thing to take into consideration as well. But lighting is a huge thing. But either way, this thing does a fantastic job in the right lighting with the 4K on the back as well as our 1080p on the front. Does a fantastic job in the right lighting for recording stuff. So that's something else that we can actually say is a really good thing about this thing.
So now we're out.
And we're going to delete this one here. Now the other thing I want to show you too is when it comes to transferring files. I have a Type-C, and it's actually a dual. It goes to either bus line. It's like your 3.1 on one end and then your Type-C on the other. So if we just plug in our little adapter here for USB, this is a 64 gig stick, and we want to go to our file section. Okay, Untitled. Now this stick is formatted under exFAT, which means you are going to be fully compatible between a Mac or a PC. And this thing can read exFAT formatting, so there we go. So this is a song that I wrote actually, so this way YouTube stays off my neck, and we're just going to play that. Now our sound of course is coming through the iPad. I like how the sound actually comes out of the vent holes where there is no speakers. It actually adds a little bit of bass. Okay, so we'll just hit done. Now I'm going to need to copy this file across because see this Type-C port, that's a charge port, that's not a reader port. So it's only for charging a device. And no, it will not. You cannot charge your iPad at the same time as using this dongle. So we'll take this file, and what we're going to do is we're going to drag it to my iPad, and then we can pull this stick out. So on my iPad, and we'll hook up the screen. Now the screen, anytime you hook up an external screen, of course, unless you have an external speaker jack on your screen or built-in speakers, you're not going to get any sound even out of here because it gets rerouted. So here's the song again, but played through better speakers.
All creation cries out for a Savior. All creation cries out. All creation cries out for a Savior. All creation cries out. Break the chains and let us be free. Break the chains and let us...
Okay, so that's what we got. And yeah, it works fantastic for doing this stuff. So end result, guys, it's kind of up to you if you want to buy this thing or not. If you are an OnSong or OnSong Pro user, you will have that problem with the external display, at least until we figure out why it's not displaying our lyrics properly like the iPad 7th Gen actually has no problem doing. We'll have to figure that out. Now, transferring files, of course, from the stick and all that is great. Now, I do have, of course, this side of the stick, and I do have another port free, which is kind of nice, so I can plug this stick into here. It shows up on my iPad, and boom, and we can go play the song. And everything goes through.
All creation cries out for a Savior. All
Now, because the this is a charge port for charging another device, it'll use your battery up in your iPad to charge your other device. When you are running dongles that don't have the ability to charge your iPad while you're using it, it is going to suck your battery down fast, okay? Like, I was at 100% starting into the video earlier, you know, and just in a couple of retries of doing the video, I've lost almost half my battery power in a couple of tries. So that's like not even an hour of retakes to get this video to where it is. So it's kind of like, that kind of juices it, you know what I mean? Because you're running, you're trying to power from here, 2 ports here for keyboard and mouse. Now you can go Bluetooth, and that definitely is going to save you some runtime. You will increase your runtime. But the HDMI is the biggest power sucker of all, okay? And even on this 7th gen, I have to have the charge cable plugged into the adapter just to run the video, which is fine because it doesn't suck as much battery as quick on my 7th gen because I'm using this charge cable to actually push the power in through for the display. A little bit different technology that way. But either way you look at it, I mean, it is still a great tablet. I really like it, although I just don't like what's happening with OnSong, and hopefully we can figure this out down the road somewhere, because that is definitely a real break-it thing in that aspect. So for me, at least, I have 2 iPads, so if I want to do editing of my stuff, I'm going to have to do it all on the screen with my 7th gen, and then take that file, re-back up my database, and then re-update my database onto this one to make sure my databases stay the same all the time. And that's the thing, I want the databases to stay all the time, because there may be an event where I have to leave this one at home for some reason and take this one, or vice versa, and I need to make sure that my database for OnSong on both machines is exactly identical at all times. You know, but if you're only on one tablet, well then that's fine. I mean, you're just on one. But I do want to see if I can find another kind of a dongle where I can actually charge my iPad while I'm using the dongle, because that would be a better thing. Because right now it's not all that practical with this dongle when I'm, you know, only getting, you know, probably about maybe 5 hours, 4 or 5 hours, depending on what I'm doing too. If I'm not doing much, it's going to last longer. If I'm video editing, it's going to suck the battery up faster for video editing, because that takes a lot of processing power, a lot of RAM, a lot of resources. That's going to suck your battery a lot quicker. But again, if you're video editing to an external display off of your iPad, no matter what iPad it is, you are going to have a really good quality monitor to project that picture to, so that you can actually see at least really close to what you've got on screen, to make sure you're editing things correctly with any kind of colorations you're doing, especially photography. Photography is very intense for coloration perfectiveness, right? So you have to be able to have that screen capability. And that's where a lot of people miss this on a lot of videos, especially with people who are doing Apple videos, where they neglect to mention that fact there. Is, yep, you're going to need a pretty costly screen to go onto this thing to get even close as you can to the identical of this onto there. Okay? Never mind what you get for a viewable area, right? But anyways, that's what I got for you on this one. You know, we don't need to really cover too many apps on here. I mean, Notes, it's not a full screen. You know, we know this. Facebook Messenger is not going to be a full screen. Watching a YouTube video, yep, we can definitely hit the full screen area on this thing. We just have to increase the box size.
Well,
we got full screen.
Palette a bit. For
So
TV and movies,
that's all fine. You know, so some programs will definitely work to your benefit to give you a fuller screen other than that square block. Others will stay within the block, and that's just the way it goes. So anyways, if you guys have any questions or comments, you know where to leave your comments down below, and questions as well in that area. You know, I will, if I do find a cure for this OnSong issue, I will definitely update you guys as to what had to happen to fix this issue, that will definitely be there, and then that would definitely make this a more viable tablet to going out to an external display and getting proper here-to-here kind of thing with OnSong. So I will update you guys at that point. It'll be called an OnSong Pro iPad Air 4 update or some weird title like that. But if you're subscribed to my channel and you've clicked on the bell for notifications, you'll get that email as to when that video is on my channel. So you don't need to worry about asking, hey, you know, when you see it in your email, you know I've done it. Anyways, in the meantime, thank you guys so much for watching, and if you are not subscribed, please do so and smash that bell for notifications so that you know when I'm putting up new content. We've always got something different on the channel, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks. Bye.